everybody, it's Angela. So just make sure, as always, if you need any props or anything before we get started, make sure you have those handy. We're going to go ahead and get started once you're ready. We're going to take a child's pose to start. So knees out wide, big toes together to touch. Just let your forehead come down to the mat and take a few moments to kind of settle in to your breath. Once you're here, remove any tension from your jaw, from your face, and just see where you can be with your breath. Nice full inhales, let the belly expand. And then as you exhale, use the strength in the ribs and the belly to kind of press the breath out of the lungs. See where you can get a little bit deeper into the base of the lungs. Full deep inhale in through the nose. Even longer exhale out the nose. Take the tension out of your jaw. Let your tongue just gently rest against the back of your teeth. Let your seat settle a little closer towards your heels. Let your shoulders relax. We're just going to be here for a few rounds of breath. See where you can come into that mindfulness. If you'd like to bring an ujjayi breath into your practice, you can close off slightly through the back of the throat. I like to compare it to kind of an ocean sound with the breath, right along the back of the throat. The mind has something to concentrate on as we begin to move through the flow. So nice big inhales, bigger exhales. A couple more rounds of breath. We'll take the last couple breaths here to set an intention, a little awareness for your practice. Maybe just a single word, a single I am affirmative statement for yourself. We're going to take a nice big inhale in through your nose. Sip in a little bit more breath at the top. And then open up your mouth and let it go. We'll do that again. Nice full inhale all the way in. Sip in a little more. And then open up the mouth. Let it go. Alright, from here, bring yourself up onto your fingertips. So nice and engaged. Let your shoulders kind of drop down towards the mat. You're going to walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat. Really drop the right shoulder down and press down through your palms. Take the length into the right side body. Really try to press the right ribcage towards the right side of your mat. And then come back through center, other side. Walk your hands over towards the left. Press down or over towards the right. Press down through your palms. Then really send your ribs over towards the left side of the room. Nice full inhale breath all the way through that side. Exhale, see where you can settle in a little deeper. Slowly come back through center, bring yourself into a tabletop pose. Hands underneath your shoulders. Index fingers should always be faced forward. Might even be a little bit more turned down, especially if you have wider shoulders. Knees underneath your hips. Nice big inhale, lift your eyes. And then exhale, pull your navel in towards your spine, round your chin towards your chest. We'll move through a few rounds of cat and cow. So this is your option where you take this. Inhaling to lengthen up the eyes towards the ceiling. Exhale to round chin to chest, navel to spine. You're welcome to take some additional movement of your hips down towards your heels, one direction and then the other. One of my personal favorites is to pretend I have a little hula hoop around my waist. Kind of give the spine a little rotation one direction and then the others, right around the ribs. And then from here, come back through to your neutral tabletop pose. Extend your right arm forward towards the front of the room and pull your right shoulder back into your shoulder hub. From here, extend your left leg towards the back of the room. Flex through your foot nice and strong, so your toes are down towards the mat. Pull your navel in and really engage through your core. As you exhale, bring your elbow to your knee, chin towards your chest. And inhale, lengthen it back. Flex through the foot, reach through your fingertips. You can even lift your fingers and your heel a little bit higher, so you get a little down dog or a little cat-cow sensation. Round it in, chin to chest, and inhale, lift it up. Exhale, crunch, and inhale, reach. This time you're going to reach all the way back for your left foot and really kick your foot into your hand. Look up with the eyes towards the ceiling, lift your heart, and then exhale, release it back to a neutral tabletop pose. Bring your knees underneath your hips once again. Engage your belly in. And then reach your left arm forward. Pull your shoulder back into your shoulder hub. And extend your right leg towards the back of the room. So flex through that foot nice and strong once again. Exhale, crunch your elbow to your knee, chin to chest around the spine. And then inhale, lift it up. You can find that little cow pose in the back if you'd like. Exhale, elbow to knee, and inhale it forward. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. This time, reach back for your right foot. Press your foot into your hand and really look up towards the ceiling. Last part. And then exhale, release that down. Find your neutral tabletop, tuck your toes under, and just lift your knees just an inch off the mat. Squeeze your knees as if you were holding into a yoga block. Press up through the back of your shoulder blades. One more breath here. The knees might start to shake, that's okay. And then inhale, lift your hips high. Walk your feet back just a tad for your downward facing dog. Take a couple moments here to pedal out the dog, walking the heels back and forth. Just kind of see where your calves are this afternoon. Shoulder blades away from your ears. All right. From here, take your feet wide on the mat and walk your hands back towards your feet. Once you're there, grab opposite elbows and just let yourself hang heavy for a few rounds of breath. Take stillness here, right at first. Just let everything go. And then you can begin to sway side to side. Bend into one knee and then the other. Shake some yeses and some nos with your head. Just let all of anything that you're carrying on your shoulders, just let it fall away. And then release your hands down to the mat. Take a nice deep bend into your right knee and place your right hand down. Lift your left arm towards the ceiling. You can take a wrap back around behind if you'd like to really get that twist in a little bit deeper. And then switch sides. Bend your left knee, plant your left hand down to the mat, and inhale your right arm towards the ceiling. You can take a wrap if that's available for your practice, and then really just try to settle in with the breath. Slowly come back through center. Take a slight micro bend in your knees, one vertebra at a time. You're going to rise through to standing, rounding up like a little rag doll. Roll your shoulders down your back once you're up, and inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, your hands to your heart. Take a moment here. Nice big inhale, reach your arms. And then exhale. Take your right hand down your right leg and then reach your left fingertips up and over. You can even tuck your hand back behind your head if you like to get a little deeper stretch for the side as you reach your elbows towards the side wall. Come back through center, other side. So again, left hand down the left leg, right arm reaches up and over. If you want a little extra, tuck your hand back behind your ear and then really reach your elbow towards the sidewall. One more breath here. Come back through center. This time you're going to take your hands back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your seat. Press your hips forward towards the front of the room and lift your chest towards the ceiling. Take a slight micro bend in your knees and hinge forward. Keep the bind of your hands, but don't let your shoulders just drop around your ears. Pull your shoulders up and away and then try to extend your hands. Even if you keep a slight micro bend in your knees, that's okay. Just kind of see where you can be here for a moment. Let the hamstrings begin to relax. Let the arms relax. Last breath. Exhale. Release your hands down to the mat. You're going to walk your hands forward towards the front of your mat. Keep your feet wide and then just lower your knees down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Keep your navel pulled up and in towards your spine. And then just take a couple sways, side to side. Let the lower back relax and release. And then from here, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment with your breath here. Shoulders away from your ears. Nice big inhaling breath. As you exhale, see where you can let your heels settle a little bit deeper, your heart sink a little closer towards your knees. From here, right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Go through a couple circles here, one direction and then the other. Warm up through the hip joint. And then square back off through your hip. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Just pause here for a moment. Let your left heel try to sink a little bit closer down towards the mat. Really get into that stretch for your calf. And then step your right foot forward in between your hands. Take the bend in and out of your forward knee a couple times. You can take a couple little bounces when the knee's bent. As your knee straightens, your right foot can either stay planted or you can even tuck your toes up towards your nose to deepen the stretch for your hamstring. And then move through that a couple times. Just kind of see where you have space, where you have available in the body. All right, come back into the bend of your forward knee. Drop your back knee to the mat, and inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Just pause here for a moment. Press your left hip forward towards the front of the room. Then bring your hands to your heart and bring your left elbow to your right knee. Press firmly through your palms as you find your twist. If you'd like to advance from here, you're welcome to tuck your back toes and lift your back knee off the mat. Reach from your heel out through the crown of your head. Last breath. And then from here, release your hands down to the mat. If your back toe is tucked already, good. If not, tuck it under. We're going to step your left foot forward to meet your right. Inhale. Lengthen through your spine. Hands can be to your shins or fingertips can be to the mat if you have a little more space. And exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive, up and overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. Nice big inhale, reach to rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. And exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, take a plank. Shoulders away from your ears. Really press up through the back of the shoulder blades. So you don't want to be sunk into the shoulders. Really press up and in towards the ceiling. Press back through your heels. You're always welcome to drop to your knees for your chaturanga. As you're ready, you're just going to bend your elbows midway along the body. Elbows brush the sides. Inhale, lift to upward facing dog. Knees are off the mat. And exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment. Nice big inhale and breath. As you exhale, let your heels sink a little closer. Take your shoulders away from your ears and just settle in. From here, nice big inhale, lift your left leg towards the ceiling. Bend your knees, stack your hips, go through a couple circles this side as well. One direction and then the other. As you're ready, step your left foot forward in between your hands. And take a moment here. Take the bend in and out of that forward knee a couple times. You can take a couple bounces. As you straighten, your foot can stay planted. Or again, you can tuck your toes up towards your nose and really find that stretch for the hamstring. Then go through that a couple times. See where you have available for yourself today. Consistently come back to the breath. Inhale to move forward. And exhale to move back. Last time. Come back into the bend of your forward knee. Drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Inhale, reach your arms. From here, bring your hands to your heart. Really press the outer edge of your right hip forward and find your twist. Right elbow to your left knee, press firmly through your palms. Then if you took the advancement on the other side, tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee off the mat. Really energize the navel up and in towards your spine. One more breath. Release your hands down. If your back toes aren't tucked, go ahead, tuck them under. You're going to step your foot forward to meet. Inhale, halfway lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up and overhead. And exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. Just take a moment here. Find your mountain pose. Glue down through your feet and then reach up through the crown of your head. Nice big inhaling breath. Reach your arms. And exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back or hop them back if that's in your practice. Find your plank. If you're moving through your flow, you're welcome to take it. You can take a push-up. If you need to drop to your knees, you can take that as well. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Be here. Let your heels release down towards the mat. One more round of breath. All right. Lift your right leg towards the ceiling. And then step your right foot forward in between your hands. Rise up to a crescent pose. Shoulder blades away from your ears. Really look towards your fingertips. Take a nice big breath here. And then exhale. Fold yourself forward over top of your legs. So we're going to come from a lunge. We're going to come to standing. So you're going to press off your back foot and lift your knee in towards your chest. And then bring your hands to your heart. You're going to step your foot back and find your lunge once again. So you're going to reach, lengthen through your front knee as you bring yourself back. Hands come to your heart, step it back, and take that runner's lunge, hinge forward. One more time. So really use that back leg. Power up through. Inhale, lift your knee towards your chest, reach through your fingertips. Bring your hands to your heart. Power up through your standing legs. Step it back. Runner's lunge. From here, spin your back foot flat and open up to your warrior two. So just pause here for a second. Really glue down through your toes. We're going to take it a little bit deeper from here. So shoulder blades down your back. Arms pressed as if you were into little shelves. So we're really going to work the legs here for a few moments. So you're going to try to rise up onto both sets of your toes. And then your legs are going to try to squeeze towards each other. And then you're going to release that back down. So come high up on your toes, find your balance, and then try to squeeze your legs towards each other. And then release it back down into your warrior two. All right, last time. Come up on your toes, find your balance. Try to squeeze, as if you had one of those big workout balls, try to squeeze that in between your legs. And then release that. Reverse your triangle up and back. Let the legs have a break. Nice big inhaling breath. Reach up, lengthen. And then come back into the bend of your forward knee, side angle pose. Your elbow can be to your knee. Your hand might be to the floor. Should you need a block, that's always an option for your hand as well. Stack your two shoulders, one on top of the other. If you feel like you're faced a little bit more tapped down towards the mat, I would encourage you to either take a block or bring your elbow to your knee so you can find this openness of your left shoulder towards the right side of the room. Take extension or a wrap, depending on what you have. You can reach forward, you can wrap it back around behind. Just be here for a moment. Last round breath. Release yourself towards the left side of the room. If you need a block, make sure you have that with you. Otherwise, just come up high onto your fingertips, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, fold yourself in. Walk your hands maybe back in line with your heels. You can even grab for the outer edges of your calves, the outer edges of your feet. Inhale, lengthen the breath. So really try to breathe deep into the base of the lungs. And then exhale, see where you can pull yourself in a little deeper. Last 2 rounds of breath. Inhale. And exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. All right, from here, pivot yourself back forward towards the front of the room. Step your back foot up and off the tightrope. So 2 feet should be like on little train tracks. One, like 6 inches in between both feet if they were to be side by side. Your hands can be to a block here for your pyramid pose. If you have any other combination, you're welcome to work towards that. Wherever you're at, feel the outer edge of your right hip pull back towards the back of your space. Maybe you walk your hands back towards your foot. You might even go for a little wrap back around behind. Or even take your opposite elbows. Or you pray your hands back behind your back. Nice big inhale, lengthen through your spine, and exhale, fold yourself in. One last breath. All right, we got one last little bit on this right side, and then we get to switch to the other, and I promise your right leg will have a break. All right, so from here, you're gonna come into your bent right knee. You're gonna take your left knee and tuck it right into your right calf, so you get a little shelf there. This is called Shiva squat. Point through your back toes, and then you're just gonna try to lift your hands off the mat. If that isn't available, maybe your fingertips are to the block, and you just try to take your hands off the block for a moment. Take one more round of breath. From here, extend your left foot out towards the right side of the room. You're just gonna bend both knees and try to walk yourself down to your seat. So you're in a nice little seated twist. So right knee's gonna be on top. Your right hand's gonna reach back around behind. Inhale, reach your left arm towards the ceiling. And then exhale. Bring your elbow to your knee and really lengthen up through your spine. Exhale to twist a little deeper. You can take any other variation. If you have a wrap or a bind, you're welcome to take that. So nice full inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale to twist a little deeper. One more breath. Slowly come back around through center. Release your hands off towards the left side of the mat. Just do a little counter twist. From here, come back around through center, unravel your legs. Give your legs a little shake out, a little windshield wiper, whatever you need. And then you're gonna take the cushy part of your seat out and away. Nice big inhale, reach your arms. And exhale, hinge yourself forward. You can bring your hands over top of your toes, maybe the outer edges of your feet. If you need a strap to grab around your feet, you're welcome to take that too. Or maybe just grab for your ankles. Wherever you're at, try to lengthen your chest forward towards the front of your mat, and then exhale to fold yourself in a little deeper. Inhale, reach, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold yourself in. All right. From here, slowly rise up. You're going to roll all the way back onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest and give yourself a big squeeze. If you'd like a happy baby, you're welcome to take that. Knees wide. You can take a little sway side to side, whatever you need. Let that go. Try to keep your tailbone flat down towards the mat, though, if you take happy baby. Just protect the lower back. All right, from here, take your hands back behind your thighs. You're going to take 3 to 4 rocks along the length of your spine, forward and back, forward and back. Let your toes go up and overhead. They might even touch down back behind you for a little brief plow pose. And then you're going to use the momentum to swing yourself up and over your legs. You can take a chaturanga flow if you'd like. Otherwise, you can just go straight down to a downward facing dog. If you'd like the flow though, feel free to take it. Find what you need, leave what you don't. You always have your options. Nice big inhale breath once you're in your down dog. As you exhale, let your heels settle down towards the mat. One more breath. All right. Nice big inhale, lift your left leg towards the ceiling. Step it forward in between your hands and rise up to a crescent lunge. Press back through your back heel. Shoulder blades away from your ears. Really power up through your legs. All right, nice big inhale. Look towards your thumbs. Exhale, hinge yourself forward. So from here, we're going to take that lunge to a standing knee to chest. So really power up through your left leg. As you're ready, push into your back foot and rise to stand. Pull your right knee in, reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Bring your hands to your heart and extend your foot back. Find that crescent lunge and reach your fingertips back towards the back of the room. So we're going to take that a couple times. As you're ready, really power up through your back leg. Give it a little push and reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Pull your knee towards your chest. Bring your hands to your heart. Again, we're going to extend it back. And then you extend your hands towards the back of the room. Let's do that one more time. Power up through your back leg. Press off. Reach your knee towards your chest. Reach your fingertips towards the ceiling. Bring your hands to your heart. Extend your leg back. Find that runner's lunge. And then open up to a warrior two towards the right side of the room. So again, power up through your legs just for a moment. Kind of see where you can find that little imaginary workout ball between your legs. So again, you're going to come up high onto your toes. So you're going to high up on your toes, and then you're going to try to squeeze your knees towards each other. You should really start to feel this right in your glute. As you're here, as you come up to your toes, really feel that squeeze. You'll feel it in the inner thighs, you'll feel it in your glutes. And then exhale, release it back down. Let's do that a couple more times. Come high up onto your toes, find your balance, and then squeeze into that little imaginary ball. And then release that down. One more time. High up on your toes. Squeeze into that ball. And then exhale, release. Reverse your triangle. 2 straight legs up and back. Take a breath. Let that go. So as you come up and over 2 straight legs, just reach and breathe all the way through the left side body. Come back through center. Bend back into your forward knee. Bring your elbow to your knee. Or again, you have that option of your hand down to a block. So again, always take what you need. Feel your right shoulder pulling towards the left side of the room this time. If you have a wrap, your hand might just come back to the back of the hip, maybe even wrap back around behind for your thigh. Eventually, your other hand might tuck underneath. You'll reach for the wrist. So a lot of times you take this bind kind of with the hands. I prefer you to try to extend. This gets a little bit deeper. You're going to extend your right arm towards the back as you have the wrist. That's where eventually you're working towards. One more breath here. All right, from here, release your hands down. You're pivoting towards the right side of the room. So again, take notice. As you come into your forward fold, really bring your weight forward towards your toes so that your hips stack over your heels. Lengthen out through your spine. So you're welcome to take what you did that first time, maybe hands to your legs. If you'd like a little bind of your hands back behind you, you're welcome to take that. But again, take notice that your shoulders aren't just squished up toward your ears. Really try to extend the shoulders and then extend your hands. Nice big inhale lengthens the breath. Exhale, allow yourself to fold in a little deeper. One more breath. From here, release your hands down to the mat. You're pivoting towards the front of your mat once again. So from here, you're going to shorten your stance, find your pyramid pose. Again, maybe your hands might need to be on a block. Pull the outer edge of your left hip towards the back of your space. Really lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, see where you can fold in a little bit deeper. Nice inhale, lengthen breath. Exhale, fold it in. You can take any variation that you like, maybe what you did last time. Just kind of see where you can work into this leg a little bit deeper. One more round of breath here. All right. Release your hands. We're going to take one last little bit for this left leg. Come bent into your left knee. Tuck your right knee back behind. You're pointing through the toes, and then sit your seat so that your torso lays on your thigh. That might be exactly where you need to be. You have a little shelf of your left calf right for your right knee. If you have a little more, you might try to extend your fingertips towards the back of the room. Maybe you're able to stay there. If that's not enough, you might need a block. That's okay. Take what you need. Last breath here. Release your fingertips if they're lifted. Send your right foot off towards the right. Just bend your knees and walk your seat down to the mat. So you have that little cross in your legs. Your left leg's on top. Reach your left arm back behind. Inhale, right arm lifts. And exhale, find your twist. So again, maybe you're able to take a wrap. Maybe you're able to take a bind back behind. Nice big inhale, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, twist a little deeper. Take one more round of breath. Slowly come back through center. Take that little revolved twist towards the opposite side of the room. And then come up. Lay back onto your back. Pull your knees up and into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Nice inhaling breath. Exhale. See where you can relax a little bit deeper. So we're going to move through a little bit of core work here. So reach your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Plant your hands down, palms facing down, into the mat. So from here, pull your navel in towards your spine. Try to keep your seat glued down towards the mat as well. So you're trying to extend your tailbone down. So keep your legs lifted. You're slowly going to let your right leg start to lower down towards the mat. At the moment that your lower back wants to start to lift off the mat, that's where you stop. Try to really keep that lower back down towards the mat as you lower. And then inhale back up through to center. Pull the navel towards the spine and slowly lower your left leg down the mat. Once your lower back wants to start to lift, that's where you stop and you come back up. So let's do that one more time per side. Slowly lower down, halfway, or maybe it goes all the way before your navel wants to lift, before your lower back wants to lift. And then inhale it back. Last side here. So again, lower it down only to the point that your lower back wants to start to lift. And then inhale it back up through to center. Release your heels either side of your mat. Give yourself a little windshield wiper side to side. Let all that go. Last little bit of core and glute work here. So we're going to take a bridge, but we're going to take a little adjustment. So from here, press down through your palms and really lift your hips towards the ceiling. Work your shoulder blades underneath you. So we're going to take little pulses. Come up high onto your toes and just pulse the heels, right? So you're just here. Lift and lower, lift and lower. All right, so we're going to add up. Keep your hips lifted. Squeeze the belly. Squeeze your seat. Engage your quads. Press down through your right foot. Lift your left leg and point it towards the front of the room. And then again, you're going to lift and lower. We're just doing this a couple times. You're really going to start to feel that right leg. Take 2 more rounds. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Lower your hips down to the mat. Give yourself a little windshield wiper, back and forth. You can do that as many times as you want, but I'm being nice today. All right, it's a Tuesday. Taco Tuesday later, right? All right, so again, come up, lift your hips. This time, instead of lifting and lowering your heels, you're going to take little pulses of your knees as if you had a strap right around the bottom of your thighs and you were trying to push out away from it. So you're just getting those little pulses like this, as if you were pressing against bars right against your knees. So you're just taking that a couple times. You should start to feel this in your inner thighs. So pulse, pulse, pulse. All right, from here, glue down through your left foot. Lift your hips, squeeze your seat, squeeze your belly. Lift your right leg up. And then you're going to take that lift and lower. We're only here a couple times. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Last time. Release that down to the mat. Give yourself some windshield wipers. You might even take a bear hug into the body if that feels better on the lower back. Just let yourself be here for a moment. All right, since you're already on your back, I'm going to give you 2 options. Option 1 is to take a figure 4 with your right foot on top of your left. Hands threaded through either for your shin or for the back of the thigh. That might be where you'd like to stay. If you prefer a pigeon pose, your right leg is going to come parallel with the front of your mat. You're going to roll over onto your hip and bring your left leg back towards the back of your mat. Nice big inhale if this is where you go. Exhale to bring yourself down. But always take the time that you need in order to situate yourself. If you need a block underneath your hip, maybe a blanket underneath there to have a little bit of support, just so that your hips can stay squared off. Because what we don't want to see is you off here to the side, because then you're not really getting much of a stretch. So make sure that you're kind of hinged over top of your leg. And then you can start to come down to your elbows. Nice big inhale if you have a little more space. You might work down for your forehead to the mat, wherever you're at. So if you took a pigeon pose, just be here for a few rounds of breath. If you're in your figure 4, you're going to use your arms to pull the leg in a little bit closer towards you. You want to make sure that you have a flex of your toes, right toes towards your shin. Then you can always use your right elbow against the inner thigh to press it forward towards the front of the room. Pull your shoulder blades down your back and just see where you can breathe here. Try to keep your tailbone down towards the mat and find that length from your tailbone through the crown of your head. Use the strength in your arms to pull yourself in a little bit closer. All right. If you're in your figure 4, you're going to release your feet down to the mat. Take a couple little windshield wipers side to side with your knees. And then you'll move to the opposite side. You'll place your left foot on top, reach through, grab for your shin, the back of your thigh, whatever you have. And you'll settle in from there. If you were in a pigeon pose, you're going to tuck your back toes under. Send your hips up and back. Give your right leg a little shake. Let that go. And then your left leg is going to step forward towards the front of the room. So again, as you can see, like if your hips fairly lifted, that block might be the best support that you can take for yourself. That or a blanket if you're at home, if you don't have blocks, that's okay. Just make sure that you're not sitting down onto your hip, because that can cause a little bit of pressure in the spine as well. Just squaring yourself off so that your hips stay square. And then you can begin to come down. Elbows down, let yourself relax. Maybe your forehead might eventually meet the mat as well. So take what you need here, be here for a few rounds of breath. If you're in that figure 4, again, use the strength in your arms. Slight dorsiflex of your left foot towards your shin, and use your left elbow against your inner left thigh to press it forward towards the front of the room. Keep your tailbone pressing down towards the mat, and then reach from your tailbone out through the crown of your head. Take a few rounds of breath here. So wherever you're at, take the tension out of your jaw, out of your face, and just see where you can breathe into the sensations. You have 2 more rounds of breath wherever you're at. All right, if you're on your back, you're going to release your feet down. You're going to take a couple little windshield wipers side to side, and then you're going to give yourself a rock and a roll up to your seat as you're ready. If you were in your pigeon pose, tuck your back toes under, send your hips up and back, give your left leg a little shake out, and then everyone's going to come to their seat. So you're going to either hop your feet forward, or maybe just swing your legs out towards the front of the room. From here, bring the pads of your feet together, let your knees go out wide. Lift through the spine, through the crown of your head. So get nice and tall. And then exhale. Use that length in your spine. Begin pulling yourself forward towards your feet. You can use your elbows into your calves for a little more space if you need that. Maybe your heels pull in a little closer towards yourself. Or you might need them a little further out. It's up to you. See where you can get into this, where you can relax a little bit deeper. Nice big inhale that lengthens your breath. And exhale, see where you can settle in a little bit deeper. If you have a little more space, maybe your heels pull in a little bit closer towards yourself. Really starting to work into the inner thighs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold it in. One more round of breath. All right, from here, lift yourself up through to seated. Extend your right leg forward towards the front of the room. Your left foot's in to the inner thigh. Turn your leg just slightly towards the corner, or you can even turn your body if that's a little bit easier, but you're centered over top of your heel, not over top of your leg. From here, inhale, reach your arms up and overhead, and then exhale. Extend your right hand down your right leg, reach your left arm towards your toes. If you have that, just stay here. That's okay. If you have a little bit more, you can reach your hand for your toes. And then maybe you start to try to tuck your right shoulder underneath. If you have your foot, you can use your right hand and press the left thigh towards the left side of the room. So you're sending it that way to get a little bit more space through the side body. Once you have that, you're really just trying to lift your chest so that eventually you can look up towards the ceiling. That gets pretty deep, so you might still be here. That's okay. I always just give options. One more breath wherever you're at. Slowly lift yourself back through. Extend both legs forward towards the front of the room. Give yourself a little shake, a little windshield wiper of your feet. Whatever feels nice. And you're going to switch sides. So left foot stays forward this time. Right foot's going to pull in. So again, you're going to either situate your legs or your torso so that you're centered over top of your right heel. From here, nice big inhale, reach your arms. And exhale, send your left hand down your left leg, reach your right arm up and over. So if this is where you are at, that's great. Just breathe. Breathe into this right side rib cage. If you happen to be able to move a little bit deeper, maybe you're able to grab for your toes. You're going to start to try to tuck your forehead underneath your arm. Your right hand, or your left hand, can go into your right thigh to push it open towards the right side of the room. And then you're really trying to twist yourself open. One day the shoulder even works inside your knee. So you can get nice and long into that stretch. Find your breath. Lengthen through the side body. One more round. Slowly release yourself back through center. Extend your legs forward towards the front of the room. Give yourself a little shake, a little wiggle out of your feet. Let that go. All right, from here, we're taking a wide leg forward fold. I personally like to go sideways on the mat like I'm demonstrating here. But if you like just being forward over top of your mat, you're able to do that as well. So you're going to just work your feet to the outer edges of your range of mobility. From here, walk your inner thighs back towards the back of the room. Find length all the way through your fingertips. Then you're simply going to start walking yourself forward towards the front of the room. You might be able to use your hands to pull yourself in a little bit deeper. If you want a little more, you might grab for your ankles. You might grab for your toes. Really try to lengthen your spine forward as you begin to get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Keep your shoulder blades away from your ears. Nice big inhale, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, fold yourself in. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, fold. If you get to here and you need a little help, it's a little bit too much, you're always welcome to just bring a block right underneath your forehead and let your elbows just rest onto the mat. Or it might just be wherever you need it. If you need 2 blocks stacked, take that. So to see where you can just hinge forward over top of your legs. There's always variations of what you can take. Nice big inhaling breath. Exhale, see where you can settle in a little bit deeper. Let's take one more round of breath here. All right. Slowly bring yourself back up. You can use your hands on the outer edges of your knees to bend the knees and bring your feet back. Take your feet mat width distance apart. You're just going to give yourself a little windshield wiper side to side. All right, from here, next time your knees are over towards the left, you're going to let them stay there. Then you're going to walk both hands towards the back of your mat. From here, this might be exactly where you need to stay. You're trying to reach your right leg forward towards the front of the room, and you're getting this twist for your lower back. If you have a little bit more, your hands can start to walk over towards the right side of your mat. If you need a little bit less, maybe you just drop to your elbows and really try to bring this twist from the ribs into the lower back. So take the tension out of your jaw, out of your forehead. Just see where you can breathe into this twist. You always have options. If something gets to be a little bit too intense, go to the elbows or walk your hands back a little bit closer towards the left side. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. All right. Slowly unravel yourself. Bring yourself back through center. Give yourself a couple windshield wipers of your knees side to side. And then let your knees fall over towards the right side of the room next time. As you're ready, walk your left hand back towards the center of your mat. Again, you're eventually trying to work your hands over towards the left side of the room. If that's too much, come down to your elbows. But really try to bring the ribs squared back down towards the mat to get that stretch for the lower back. Nice big inhale and breaths. Exhale, see where you can twist a little bit deeper. If you get to somewhere and it's a little bit too intense, go back to one of the other variations. Take what you need, always leaving what you don't. Nice big inhale and breath. Exhale to twist. Last breath. Slowly come back around through center. Give your knees a couple windshield wipers side to side. Let that go. All right. From here, pull yourself knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze once again. Keep your left leg lowers down the mat. Right knee stays in towards your chest. Shoulder blades down your back away from your ears. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Give yourself a little stretch. From here, we're going to take a twist higher up into the shoulders. So we just worked the lower back. We're going to work a little bit higher up. So take your right knee across the body and just see where your shoulder blades can stay flat down to the mat. Pull your navel towards your spine. So you shouldn't feel much sensation into your lower back. You should kind of feel this into the middle part, right back behind the center of the ribs. Eyes over towards your right fingertips, shoulders flat down to the mat. Nice big inhale breath. Exhale, see where you can twist a little deeper. All right, from here, we're going to take this deeper into a stretch for your shoulder. So your right knee is going to come all the way down to the ground. Pull your navel in towards your spine so that you're not feeling this in your lower back. And then your right arm is going to try to reach over towards the right side of the room. You might be able to get your fingertips down to the mat. I'll show this from the other side. So your knees down to the mat, your fingertips may be able to touch the ground. If you have a little more space, you might be able to extend your right arm towards the back right corner of the mat. Keep your navel pulled in towards your spine. You should really start to feel this in through your pec, maybe even into the top of the shoulder. One more round of breath here. And then slowly come back through center. Pull your knees back up and into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Take some rocks of your knees side to side. Take some circles, whatever you need. All right, from here, right leg's going to lower long down the mat. Left knee's going to stay in. So again, you're going to take this across. You're going to take that normal twist. Shoulder blades flat down to the mat. Eyes over towards your left fingertips. So just be here for a moment. Shoulder blades on the mat. Eyes over towards your fingers. Nice big inhaling breath. Make sure to keep your navel pulled in towards your spine so you're getting this deeper into your, kind of right underneath your shoulder blades, then into your lower back. All right, so again, from here, we're going to take this into that shoulder stretch. So your left knee's going to come all the way down to the mat. That's going to lift your left shoulder off. You're going to try to extend your left fingertips back down towards the mat. So as your fingertips meet, eyes up towards the ceiling, fingertips maybe down to the mat. Pull your navel towards your spine, protect your lower back, and then start to extend your left fingertips towards the back left-hand corner of the room if you have more space. You should feel this again through the pec, through the underarm, maybe even into the top of your left arm. Nice big inhaling breath. Exhale to twist. Slowly pull yourself back in through center. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Pull your forehead to meet your knees. And then as you lower yourself down, take your feet back down to the mat. So from here, we're going to take another little set of bridge. From here though, if you would like to take a relaxed set of bridge, you're going to lift your hips, maybe place that block underneath, and then you can walk your feet forward towards the front of the row. All right. Otherwise, press down through your feet, press down through your hands, and inhale, lift your hips high back towards the ceiling. Interlace your hands back behind and press your palms down so the pinky edge of your palms presses down into the mat. This might be enough for you if that's where you'd like to stay. If you'd like to rise up onto your tippy toes to lift your hips a little bit higher, maybe you do that. You might even be able to walk your feet in a little closer to lift your hips higher towards the ceiling. If you need a little bit of support, maybe your hands come underneath your seat so you give a little bit of lift to really get into that nice deep stretch for your spine. Take one more round of breath. Slowly release yourself back down to the mat. Pull your knees up and into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. All right, so you have one more set of an active bridge pose. If you're on your block, you're welcome to just stay there. If you like a full wheel, your hands can come back by your ears. You can press down through your feet, and then inhale, lift yourself up. Press up through the chest. So if you go up, take what you need. If you're in your bridge pose, hands can just be underneath you, fingers interlaced. Squeeze your knees as if you were holding into a yoga block. If you have a little more space, you might even try to grab for your heels and lift your heels, or grab for your ankles and lift your heels off the mat. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale. Release yourself back down to your mat. Put your knees up and into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. You can take a happy baby once again if you'd like. Lower your tailbone down towards the mat. Take a couple little sway side to side if you need that. You might even take a little extension of your legs, one side or the other, to get your toes maybe to touch down to the ground on either side. All right, from here, options for your final inversion. Option 1, hands right underneath your seat, little shelf there, legs straight up towards the ceiling. If you want a little more height, maybe a block underneath your seat. Your legs can go up towards the ceiling. So that's 1 and 2. If you'd like the final option, let your toes go up and over towards the back of the room. Hands can come into your lower back. And then you're going to send your feet towards the ceiling for your shoulder stand. Hands try to work into the lower part of the ribs so that you're really lifting your hips over your shoulders eventually, instead of hands at your hips, because it's really hard to get your hips lifted if your hands are down here. So really start to try to work your hands up your spine towards the base of the ribs. Just be upside down. Wherever you're at, you can give your feet a couple little pedals, let all that go. If you'd like to take any other little variations in your shoulder stand, maybe a bound ankle pose, maybe just a couple little windshield wipers, a couple little helicopters, one side and then the other. And then eventually let your toes go up and back overhead. If you have it available, you might clasp your hands and press your index or your pinky fingers down into the mat. If you'd like a little more, you can drop your knees on either side of your ears and take an ear pressure pose. So we're going to take a fish pose to end the practice. Slowly allow yourself to roll back down. If you have a block or your hands underneath your seat, remove them out and away. And then come up onto your hands. Come up onto your elbows. Lift your chin towards the ceiling. Lift your chest. Try to come down onto the top of your head. Nice big inhaling breath. Open up your mouth, let out a sigh. Nice big inhale once again. And then open up your mouth, let it go. Slowly release yourself back down through and set up for your Shavasana. So I always am going to give you the option in my class for legs up the wall. So you can take your feet, I know we already did that in our inversion, but if you want to take it a little bit longer, you're welcome to just bring your feet up the wall and be here for your Shavasana. That's always an option for you. Otherwise, you can take any sort of props that you need. If you have a blanket or 2 sets of blocks, you might take those right underneath your knees for a little support as you lay back down towards the mat. You might even like a little jelly roll of a blanket underneath your spine. So wherever you're at, take your shoulder blades down your back. Let your palms face open towards the ceiling. Focus in on your breath. Nice big inhales, even longer exhales. So we're going to take just a little bit of exercise here before you relax too deep. So a tension exercise is just going to remind the body to really relax into things. So I want you from your hips down through your toes to flex. So squeeze your seat, squeeze your glute. You're going to flex or point through your toes, whichever way feels better for you. So you squeeze, 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 squeeze as tight as you can. Squeeze a little tighter and then relax. Shake your hips, shake your feet out. Find stillness in your legs for a moment. Absolute stillness in the body. You're going to feel that aha moment where the body goes, oh, that feels nice to be relaxed, to let all that go. All right, so same thing from your waist all the way up through your shoulders to your hands. Clasp your palms nice and tight. Squeeze your biceps, your triceps. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back. Squeeze your ribs, squeeze your belly. You're not holding your breath. Mindful of the breath. You're just squeezing nice and tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then relax. Give your shoulders a shake. Give your arms a shake. And find absolute stillness in your body. Let the body go, Okay, that's what it feels like to relax, right? That's what we want. We want to find that sense of release. Last little bit here. Squeeze your jaw tight. Squeeze your tongue up against the roof of your mouth. Squeeze your eyebrows, your forehead, your neck. Everything in your face and your neck is squeezed nice and tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. Give your head a gentle shake side to side. Wiggle out through your jaw and give yourself a little rabbit wiggle of your nose. And then let your face relax, let your head relax, and simply be in your Shavasana. The body's relaxed, the tension is released. Final Shavasana, right here. You're always welcome to pause the video if you know that you want a longer Shavasana. Otherwise, just be present here with yourself for the next few moments. Gently, mindfully begin to come back to your breath. Nice big inhale. Even longer exhale. Give your head a gentle rock side to side. Ring out through your wrists and your ankles. And then reach your arms long all the way up and overhead. Point through your toes. Reach through your fingertips. Then pull your knees up and into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then rock over onto one side or the other. Let your head just be cradled by your arm for a moment. Come back into the sensations in the body. And then as you're ready, use the strength in your arms and push yourself up into an easy seat. Cross your legs. Bring your hands to your heart center. Lengthen down through your tailbone, but reach up through the crown of your head. Finish with one last big sigh out the mouth. Inhale to receive your breath. And then open up the mouth. Let it go. As always, it's my privilege, my honor to guide your class. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.